Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Real Talk Show. I am so excited to be here among you guys tonight. My name is Dr. India White. Welcome to the Real Talk Show with Dr. India White. I just want to first off start out by saying thank you so much for tuning into the show. I hope you guys have had a phenomenal day. I know that my day was pretty cool, pretty busy. Had to take care of a lot of different things. And I'm excited about just how things are going. But I did have a really interesting celebratory moment today as well. As you guys know, I've been on a journey of weight loss and all this other stuff. And so I'm very grateful to report that I was able to hit my total weight goal of 145 pounds. Now, I've got to explain to you why it was so tough for me to get to that. And, just keeping it real, it's not always easy to lose, that 5 pounds or that 10 pounds. Sometimes you have to let go of your desire to lose that weight and just let it naturally happen. I did not do anything crazy. I didn't cheat by doing any hardcore things, to my body. I just kind of maintained my portion size. I eliminated all of my little sugary juice drinks for long periods of time, like 30 days, 40 days, things like that. I cut back on meat big time, cut back on sweets. And so as a result, I've been able to get down from like about 180 pounds to 145 pounds and still counting. Now, I say that humbly, and I want to encourage everyone out there that is trying to lose weight to continue doing whatever it is that you need to do. Now, listen, when I first started my journey of weight loss, I remembered the first day that I went to work out. Guess what? I did not work out at all. Instead, what I did was I wrote down on a sheet of paper, work out for 15 minutes. And I never even got to it, right? So I tell you that because I know some of you guys might be in that boat where it's like, India, it's just, I'm too far gone. I just can't see the end of the tunnel. I don't know how to even get started. And so I want to encourage you and I want to let you know it's going to take grit. It's going to take persistence. You're going to have to motivate yourself. You're going to have to set dates like in times and a routine so that you can do this. I know for me, I would work out at least 30 minutes to an hour every morning. And then at night, sometimes I was not able to work out at night. So, it was just, making sure that I was maintaining my portion size as much as I could throughout the day, drinking water. Water is like your best friend. Anyways, I digress from that. I hope you guys have had a great day. I just wanted to give you guys some nuggets there. And if you're working out, whether you're doing the treadmill or going on 5K runs, a lot of my friends are doing 5K runs, or if you are, lifting weights, whatever, just make sure that you are not overworking yourself to where you can't enjoy your day because you drained yourself at 6:30 in the morning with your workout routine. So making sure that you have a healthy balance is key as well. Making sure that you have someone in your support group that can encourage you along the way also is a great idea. And if you have a coach, some people do have business coaches or not business coaches, but like workout coaches, training or, personal fitness trainers and things like that. That also is very beneficial for you as well. So whatever whatever floats your boat, go for it. So with that said, I will transition the show a little bit today. I'm supposed to have a guest, not sure how that's going to go. You know how COVID and life kind of happens to us. But I did want to talk about parenting because and social distance learning and things like that, because I'm experiencing it. And I know many other parents are experiencing that social distance learning is definitely different from the brick and mortar setting. And so, I was able to look up some things today about parenting, but I also kind of looked at the news and what people are talking about nationwide with social distance learning. And you can see that there definitely are different takes on it. Some people love it. Some people don't care too much for it. I know that school districts many of them are vouching to go back to full emerged brick and mortar settings because the students are not performing like they should, and they're not being equipped to take these standardized assessments at the end of the year through social distance learning. However, what about those that they just have to continue in the social distance learning? Then what are their options, right? So we have to consider, if everybody were to go back to brick and mortar settings, are you going to have the adequate amount of teachers and educational leaders that you need on that campus to assist all of those students and those teachers, the resources that those teachers will need? Well, not sure, right? So it is one of those things like, well, what if we don't have those resources? Then that means that we do have to make the best of our current situation with social distance learning. And so the way we do that is we need to definitely make sure that the parents have what they need to make sure that the students can succeed, and that the parents can really be there, intentionally, purposefully be there in their child's path of learning. And so this made me think about single parenting today, because my heart really goes out to single parents that do have to work, a 9-to-5 job, and they have to be away from their children throughout the day. They cannot help the fact that, they're in the predicament that they're in. I mean, last show that I was on, I talked about different divorce rates and things like that. It talks about here, it says every 13 seconds, there's one divorce in America. There's 77 divorces per hour. I mean, divorces are happening. And so as a result, you're getting single parenting. Not only that, I mean, things happen, coincidences happen. And so it's causing us as a nation to have to become open-minded as to what we can do to offer resources to help parents that really are trying to be intentional, but they might not have everything they need. And so I know there's a famous saying, of course, we all know it. It says it takes a village to raise a family, right? And so with that said, we need the village to start rising up throughout our different communities to help these single parents that are in need. Some single parent stats that I wanted to share with you guys here quickly. I got this from Pew Research Center. And so it says here, 81% of single parents are mothers, 19% are fathers. And so that's a gender difference. And it's even more pronounced among Black solo parents. So 89% of single parents that are African American or Black are mothers, while only 11% are fathers. So take a look at that. So 89% are moms and 11% are dads. So that's a tough stat to swallow, right? And so with that said, I figured, let's dive into some other stats here and see what else is being said to us about single parenting. So it says here, single parent moms, solo moms are more than twice as likely to be Black as cohabiting moms. So you've got 30% versus 12% who would be cohabiting, and roughly 4 times as likely to be married moms, only 7% of which are going to be Black. So there's another reality check for us. I think some of these stats have just kind of been shoved under the rug because we have so many other things that we're dealing with in society, right? And so we don't really take time to look at what's really going on out there, but there really is a pressing issue. And I just stopped to think, like, what are we doing to contribute to closing this gap and helping these families out here that need that extra push? Look at some stats of fathers. So we're talking about single parentings. You cannot forget the rock star fathers out there that are single dads. So here, father stats, you've got married fathers, but then let's talk about the unmarried fathers. Unmarried fathers that are white, you've got like 61% versus Black, 8%. I think that actually is talking about married fathers. I apologize. So married fathers, 61% of married fathers are white versus 8% of married fathers that are going to be Black for our children today. And so not only that stat, there's definitely these stats are contributing to different achievement gaps also in our children's academic performance as well. So here, let's look at another stat. It says parent education. So I believe too that the way a child performs can also be reflected on the type of educational background that their parents have been exposed to. So if the parent doesn't really care that much about education, then why should I push my child? I mean, I know that my child's going to run the family business, or I know my child is going to, you know, have a job, when he's 16. And that's what I find culturally sound. So I'm not going to really push the academic envelope because I'm pushing more for the economic, piece, which I'm not against preparing a child for economic success. I think that is absolutely imperative, right? Because that's what's going to help us have stability in our society and in our economy. However, I think it's even better when we do set our children up for academic success as well. And so look here. So parent education, it says that over half of cohabiting parents have a high school diploma or less education, compared to 45% of solo parents and 31% of married parents. So it seems like there is a relationship there between the levels of education and the type of parenting that's going on there. So I found all of these different things to be very, very interesting as I was unfolding these statistics today, because I can remember in my experience, it was always, the learners that were struggling, it rarely came from homes that had two parents in them, right? And it rarely came from just parents that were that had healthy mindsets, healthy ways of work, healthy ways of living. But it usually, when students were struggling, it usually came from I would say there was some dysfunction, right? There was some type of dysfunction, whether there was an abandonment, whether there was abuse, different things that were going on in the home that led to that. And so as a result, it affected the way the children, went to school. I had students, back in my day where the student was taking care of their 4 or 5 siblings, yet trying to complete my math course, whatever it was. And it caused me as an educator, I had to become sensitive and empathetic and flexible with particular students and giving them a grace period, right? To complete assignments, understanding that if you had to stay up all night and watch your little brother, or you had to walk from school to go pick up your little brother or sister from elementary school, then you had to cook for them, and then you had to do all these other things for them. It put that child in kind of a different boat, in a different lens than the other child that had the parents that picked him up from carpool. And I'm not against that at all, but I'm thinking that we as a society, we have to start shedding light on this reality that there is an academic achievement gap. And I believe that part of this gap is because of the parenting situations that some of our children find themselves in, that is not their fault and is beyond them. And so, long story short, it doesn't, we don't need to play the blame game, but I think that what we can do is we can figure out how can we help our parents. Now, sometimes we have situations where there's also mental health that we can consider, right? So there's situations where there's a component of there's dysfunction, and there's maybe oppositional defiance disorder, or maybe there's chronic anger, there's depression, there's substance abuse. There are different things that are going on with our parents as well. And so I want to say this. Sometimes, our parents, they grow up, and sometimes people are made parents before their time, before they expected to be parents. And it is what it is. They are now parents. So now how can we help come alongside these people and support them, especially mentally. Mental health is a big thing that we are now starting to see. It's starting to rise to the surface because mental health is starting to affect people at their jobs. People are struggling with it even in the way they parent. And so it's starting to impact our future generation. And so I also want to shed light on this show just on the awareness that there is a need for mental health, and that there's a need for coming and into the picture with a solution, a plan to help parents that are dealing with mental health situations. If a parent is dealing with depression, or if a parent is dealing with anger, chronic anger, or substance abuse, then we as leaders in society, instead of writing it off and shoving it to the corner and saying, you know what, it's not my problem, it's above my pay grade, I'm just not even going to worry about it. I think what we should do instead is we should start formulating conclusions and solutions as to how we can help these parents. We should start looking for warning signs, or looking for red flags, or looking for maybe even trigger points that these parents face, and see how can we help them. And why am I saying this? Because when you look at the different things going on today, parents, they have a lot on their plate, trying to work a full-time job, or sometimes 2 to 3 jobs, and put a child through school, save up for their savings, for their college and all this other stuff. And those mental health situations are left unchecked. That is definitely going to be detrimental to the academic success of that child and the whole well-being of that child. And so I think that for too long, we as a society have just kind of swept some things under the rug. I know many, many, many cases in my own life as an educator. I've had many cases where children have suffered from the hands of abuse from their parents. And so that affected them with fear and anxiety, and they felt like they either could not do well enough, or they were your overachievers. Sometimes they talk about how they're overachievers because they went through some type of abuse and they're running from that, and they're trying to gain some type of form of acceptance so that they don't have to deal with their fear of being abused or their fear of being thrown away. And so why are these children going through this? It's because you've got to look at the parent. Some of these parents are dealing with different things. Some parents are removed from the reality of their child, and it's all about their life. It's all about them. And they don't know how to embrace their child and fit their child in their life. They maybe they're on a success track in their career, and maybe they feel like it's my time right now, and I just don't have time to sacrifice for my child, and I'm not going to be flexible and rearrange my life and rearrange my priorities to fit my children in. I'm just going to continue, and if they don't like it, well, they've got to figure it out. We've got parents out there as well that they don't even speak to their children. They go to work at 6 a.m, they come home at 8 p.m, they don't say a word. So then you've got that neglect going on as well. So these are a lot of different issues. And I think that many of these issues stem from mental health. And I think that one thing we have to do as parents is we have to continue to take care of ourselves, because in order to truly love someone else, you have to love yourself first. And sometimes there's such a fear from parents to keep it all together and to make things seem like everything's perfect, and to take care of the bills and take care of all of the different responsibilities that come with parenting, that sometimes parents let themselves go, right, guys? And so as a result, you've got a very dysfunctional situation. And sometimes there's an elephant in the room. I'm telling you, these elephants in the room in these family dynamics, it's mind blowing. You've got people that are dealing with chronic anger, and the anger is an elephant in the room, and yet they don't know how to tell them. Or even if you have a couple and they're married and they've got their children, and there's an anger problem or there's a neglect problem, and the other partner is afraid to approach the partner that has the issue, because of a mental health situation. And then what happens is they say, well, let's go for counseling, let's go for something. And yet there's this fear to do that as well because of the response that they might get from their partner. So we've got a bunch of different webs going on here. And I think that the overall solution is we have to continue to go to resources like NAMI, NAMI.org, NAMI.org to look at mental health. And even if, you might know someone, as you're listening to this broadcast, you might know someone that, might need help with an anger problem or need help with parenting. You might want to check out NAMI.org or check out some different parent resources within your community to help them. Because, I think that for too long, sometimes we swept it under the rug, if we had to be honest. And it's not fair to kids, right? We've got kids that are going through different traumatic situations day in and day out, different forms of abuse that they should not be exposed to. We've got parents that are fighting silent battles and they don't know who to go to. And they have this ego and this image to protect. So they can't necessarily go to counseling or check in at a center because they don't want anybody knowing how they're really feeling and what they're really going through. And so as a result, we've got a really sticky situation. And I think that what we can do as leaders in society is, when you see someone in need, help them. If you have resources, if you have someone that is a psychologist or an expert, reach out to them and help them, because you never know how you're going to be able to make a difference in that person's life. Another thing, too, is looking at single parents. I have another stat here. It talks about the socioeconomic status of single parents. It says, all told, 16% of unmarried parents living with the partner are living below poverty line, while 27% of solo parents are. So single parenting definitely breeds poverty in many cases. Doesn't mean that it's completely detrimental, but it is a reality. And so what happens is people that are in these predicaments, unfortunately, they're dealing with poverty. They're dealing with the stigma of being a single parent. They're dealing with the pressures of society, right? To keep up with the Joneses or to at least just pay your bills, right, guys? So there's like so much going on. And I think that what we can do as a society is, if you see someone that is in that situation, extend a hand to help. If you don't know how, get quiet and figure it out. Get quiet, think about it, meditate, whatever you do, and figure it out. Because sometimes it's easy to point a finger and judge and say, oh, wow, shame on them, or, oh, well, that's what they get for putting themselves in that situation, and they should have known better. And, but sometimes situations happen. And I think that, one word that I think our society needs to focus on in the season more than anything that we've let go of is compassion. There's been a lack of compassion and there's been a lack of empathy. It's almost like we've been so focused on our own life in our own bubble. I have to say, I can admit, I've been guilty of it as well. You just get going, and it's not that you're evil or that, you don't care. It's just life. You're just in the midst of life, and you have so many responsibilities. You're maintaining, your level of success, right? And so your mind is not focused on that. But I think that in this holiday season coming up, it could really do us some good to really just focus on how can we pay it forward. I've got a lot of amazing friends out there and tribe rock stars that are doing some great projects. I know the 100 Global Trade Center, they and Maria Renee are doing a phenomenal academy for learners in the areas of arts. I've got a pastor who is a student of mine, amazing Elder Adam Ojoy, who is doing some phenomenal things in the Alachua County area. So we've got some rock stars out there that are truly shining and paying it forward. But I think there needs to be more. I wish that I could call off the top of my head more people that are contributing, if that makes sense. We need more donors, more philanthropists to come out and to make a difference, to donate to scholarships, to donate to mentoring programs, to donate to helping students getting into different programs that will help them academically, or just helping a parent in need. What would it hurt us to pay it forward? You know what I mean? I think of that. What would it really help? What would it really hurt if we were able to really pay it forward? I don't know that anything would really, be detrimental to us. So with that said, if you're out there and you're trying to figure out what your purpose is in life when it comes down to helping a single parent, you don't have to dish out, $400 every time you see a single parent. No, that's not what we're asking. But we are asking that when you see a single parent, do your part. Do what you can do. If you see a child, that's in a single parent home, how can you reach out and extend a hand? You'd be amazed how, giving $1 to a child would change your life. Just $1. Or just getting a pack of diapers for a parent, a young parent, or, buying groceries for someone, being willing to babysit. I remember years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, there was a situation that took place, and this lady did not have the supports that she needed to help watch her kids, and she had a mental breakdown, and it was not good for the kids. I think she either killed them or did something crazy, and it's because she reached her breaking point. And sometimes I think, how many parents out there are this close to reaching their breaking point? And what could we do as leaders to help pay it forward, to help them and say, here I am to extend a hand and to help you in this time of hardship and this trying time that you're going through. And so I hope that as you guys are doing your Christmas shopping, as you're buying your turkeys, as you're planning vacations in those Airbnbs, as you're getting your little gatherings together, that somewhere in the back of your mind, you are able to pay it forward to someone and say, I'm here to offer an extended hand. So with that said, I hope that this show is really going to make all of us think and trigger a desire in us to pay it forward. I can tell you, I am so grateful for all of those that have been in my life that have helped me. Because yes, I am a single parent. Yes, I am educated, but I'm still a single parent. And it means the world to me when people come into my life just to be a support. Even if it's just spending time. You don't have to give me anything, right? Just spending time. It means everything. Giving an encouraging word makes the difference, guys, I'm telling you. So even if, I remember I had a wonderful neighbor who just decided to just buy me flowers. I think it was like Mother's Day, just because. And, and he and his wife, they're like, we like you and we love what you're doing with your kids. And we just want to just wish you a happy Mother's Day and just let you know you matter. And it was just like, oh, wow. Like that was so sweet of them. And how much did those flowers cost? Probably $4, no more than $10, I don't think. But it was this extended gratitude, and it made the world of a difference in my life. And I'm thinking of how many people are going to be experiencing lonely holidays, right? Their Thanksgiving holidays or Christmas holidays or, what are other holidays are out there. And all they need is someone in the community to say, you know what, I'm going to buy an extra pair of flowers just for a parent out there, single mom or single dad. If you know of a single dad, tell him he's doing a great job. That is a very tough situation to be in. And we don't want to leave our single fathers out either. And so I want to encourage everyone on this show, to say, I want to highlight the single parents out there that are doing their best, and to say that it's time for, each of us to contribute and pay it forward in the ways that we can. If you can buy gas for a single parent, if you can buy their child a Gatorade, I mean, little things. You'd be amazed as to how that makes the difference in society, And I think what happens is this. I think we see that there's such a great need that we tend to shy away from it. And there's also a fear as to, I don't really know how to get involved. I really don't know how to approach it, right? And so as a result of this fear, we do nothing. And then the guilt eats away at us, right? Because we're like, oh man, I know that family is struggling, and I know that parent is doing the best they can, and I know I'm pretty blessed, but I just don't know how to pay it forward, so I'm just going to leave it alone. And I think that in order to help, with that guilt that, some of us may be facing, it's just going to take you just taking action, one little step at a time. Now, some people have figured it out that it's better to give than to receive, and then they give their whole lives. And kudos to them. And then it becomes addictive, and you see their heart. And it's a balancing act too, guys. It's a balancing act, because what we have to do as well is we have to learn to pay it forward without giving everything of ourselves away, right? Learning when we've done our part, and when our part has made a difference, and learning when to pull back so that we can get our life back, and get our peace back. Because sometimes I can tell you this, when you are paying it forward and you are sacrificing, it is going to take from your personal peace, and it's going to take from your convenience. And so with that said, it's not a place to get frustrated or to feel defeated, but it is a place of reflection where you can say, okay, I've done my part, but now I know I need to pass the baton and allow someone else to step up and to pay it forward as well. But listen, as long as you can sleep with yourself at night, that's what counts. You have to be able to sleep with your own conscience and know that you've done your part to contribute to the good in society. And if that means that you can contribute to a single parent, and I want to say this too. Sometimes it's hard to help a single parent because of the stigma and because of the judgment that comes with it. When you see a single parent walking on the side of the road with their son or their daughter or their kids, there are judgments, there are biases that go on, right, in our minds. And so one thing I've learned to do is, instead of jumping right to that judgment, I stop myself. And I say, India, you're bigger than that. Two, I always say, that could be me. It's just by the grace of God, right, that it was not me. So before I go on this judgmental thing, or I turn a blind eye to it because I just don't want to deal with it, I try to open my heart up. I try to open my mind up. And I start thinking and reasoning and saying, I wonder why they're in that situation. And then I say, and I wonder how I can help them. I really hope that this can help you guys on the Real Talk Show today, because I think so many of us are trying to figure out in this holiday season, how can I give back? Some of you out there, business owners, successful people in society, and you're thinking, I don't know how to give back. You would be amazed how easy getting a $5 toy would brighten the world of any of our learners today. If you could do more than a $5 toy, and you can get a tablet, or you can get, I don't know, a bike, you can get something for a child and donate it to the Salvation Army or the YMCA. I don't know where to donate it, but I mean, like finding a center at the YMCAs, or finding a nonprofit that would accept gifts, and just drop it off. You don't even have to have your name known. You're just doing a simple deed. You will be amazed how great that would make you feel, how that will complete you inside. Because I think that some of us, it's like we have so much success. Some of us have wealth. We have it all. but there's a void and we don't know why. And we're hurting inside. And we know there's something missing. We just don't know exactly what it is. And so I think that part of that void is because we have not paid it forward like we could, but it's also because we don't know how. And so I think that on the show, I'm doing my best to give you guys some nuggets as to how you can pay it forward to hurting children. That, this Christmas, some people will be sitting with no electricity. Some people will be sitting with no toys, no love, no support, loneliness. And how can we do our part in society to pay it forward? And so just a simple donation would mean the world, or just a visit, to a school, or a visit, giving a card, giving a gift card, getting, just words of encouragement would just make a world of a difference. And so, I know that, like I said, the holidays are around the corner, and sometimes they're split families. So there are things that are going on. So children deal with a lot. And so the least that we can do is kind of offer our support and our love to help them. And so I hope that you guys are able to, kind of get some ideas as to how you can help with parenting, because you are needed. I want you to know that as well. If you're like, oh, I'm not, nobody needs me. You'd be amazed at what a difference your $20 would make for a child. Yep. You'd be amazed. And you'd be amazed at what spending 30 minutes with a child would do for them. And so I had some amazing mentors in my life growing up that I had one mentor who, she would pick me up in her car, and we would just hang out for like 30 minutes or an hour. And she would sometimes take me to, I think it was like the Dollar Tree, guys, the Dollar Tree. And she would buy me like a $1 gift, right? That was it, a $1 gift. She'd say, you can come here. She's like, you can pick out anything you want. You can only get one thing, but I'll get that for you. And it made the world of a difference for me, because no one else was doing that. And I felt like she cared. And I think that's what it is sometimes we fail to, and it's no fault of what, it's just a part of being human. Sometimes we fail to really empathize and put ourselves in the shoes of the children that are in need. We don't get it. Some of us have not understood poverty or the culture of poverty at all. There are some wonderful, wonderful books about understanding poverty. Ruby K. Payne, I believe, wrote a book on that. And it talks about the language of those that have been in poverty versus, those that have not necessarily been in poverty, and how you can understand the mindset of someone that is dealing with poverty. And so with that said, I know that when my mentor would take me and, take me to the store and buy me a little dollar treat, it would just brighten my week. It would brighten my week, and no, she didn't buy me $100 anything. It was just a nice little treat that she did, but it made the world of a difference. And so, hey, maybe you're like, hey, I'll spend $20, India. Okay, I'll spend $20. Okay, then you tell me, how do you want to spend it? Do you want to go to the Dollar Tree and get $20 worth of gifts that you can pass out to a struggling neighborhood, that is nearby? Do you want to drop it off at a center and let them donate it? Maybe you can drop it off at a church or at a rec center, some type of community center for students. Drop it off at a school, at an elementary school. There are so many things that you could do, so just don't put it past you that $20 won't make a difference. You could do so much with that. And so with that said, I just wanted to come in here and just talk to you guys about the reality of single parent stats and parent education, and how we as a society can join forces to really help pay it forward for our students in society, and for those parents that are really going through some hard times in society, especially with listen, especially with COVID and with everything going on right now in our nation. So, and that's another thing. Like, it's already hard enough with COVID, trying to adjust with social distance learning. And then I don't know if my kid's going back to brick and mortar, or I don't know if my kid's going to stay home, and I don't want my child to get sick, and then I don't want to get sick, and I don't know what to do. And everybody's like, edgy and antsy about everything. So we already have this going on. And then we've got, the financial crisis that has taken place in certain areas, and well, just kind of overall. And then you've got the lack of a parent in the home. So this is really a reality for many people in society today. And so I just want to encourage you out there that can, you out there that have been blessed with more than enough. How can you give back this holiday season? Can you give back this holiday season? And if you're like, no, I earned my goods. Okay, you know what? Rock on, rock on, rock on. Okay, I respect your stance, but I just want to bring a voice of challenge and say that in this holiday season, can you go and feed the homeless? Can you go to a shelter and feed the homeless? Can you drop off turkeys at, different places that are taking people in? Can you drop off, different supplies for women and, battered women in shelters? Can you visit a school and drop off supplies there? What can you do? I hope all of us can at least find one person that we can pay it forward to. Because I tell you, that, guys, is where we are going to begin really making a difference in our society again. Because I think that for too long, and it's I can blame it on COVID if I needed to, because we've had to social distance. But, I think even with COVID, there are still ways that we can pay it forward. And so I just want to encourage you guys and say that, it's time to own it. It's time to see how you can contribute to helping close the achievement gap for students, helping close the poverty gap in our society. How can we do that together? So I hope that this show has pulled on your heartstrings. But I can tell you this: if I never had someone pay it forward in my life, I don't think I would have a show today. I don't think I would have been an author. I would not have been a motivational speaker. I would have been a statistic. I would not have majored in math. Thank you, Bill Gates, for paying for my college. I would not have obtained my master's. Thank you, Dr. Eldridge, for believing in me when I was doubting the whole time, like if I could even go back to school, and thank you to people that really paid it forward in my life. All the mentors that came along, Vicky, there was Dr. Clyburn, there was Sharon, there was so many different people that I could think of off the top of my head that truly came into my life. And I would have been that statistic. I would have been helpless. And I just think to myself, I am here today by the grace of God, but because of wonderful people like yourselves that took time to slow down a bit and to say, how can I help her? And so with that said, I just want to say thank you to all those that have paid it forward, and all those that have contributed, and all those that did say, I might just be dropping off a set of basketballs to a gym at a school, a Title I school. But hey, I did my part. Thank you to those that decided to serve in soup kitchens, or to those that decided to go buy, $100 worth of Barbie dolls and give it to a K-5 school. Thank you. Whatever it is that you decided to do, thank you. Because there are people like myself that just needed that support. And because of people like you that decided to pay it forward and to give that support, people like myself can now rise up and pay it forward and now give support to people that look just like me, people that were in situations that I used to be in. And now it was just a thing of history. And now it's a situation where I'm now empowering others and inspiring others because people like you paid it forward. So please don't ever forget the impact that you can have on a child and on a single parent because you decided to use your heart and pay it forward. We need people in society today, in this season, to contribute and to pay it forward. Find a way to donate, whether it's money, whether it's your resources, whether it's your time. Maybe you offer services, counseling services for free at a at-risk school. Maybe you cut hair. I remember when COVID first, everything was happening, all these barbers were giving haircuts for free to children. Maybe you can do something like that. Maybe you could do a little lottery system and you can say, okay, I'm going to pay for the groceries of the first 20 moms that I pick out of a list of 100 parents. I don't know. Do something. But whatever you do something. And so I hope that helps you guys. Thank you so much for letting me share this. This is definitely a soft spot in my heart because there's not a day that goes by that I'm not grateful, that I'm not constantly thinking of where I could have been if I didn't have someone reach and extend out a hand of love for me and in my life. And if I was not given opportunity, some of you might not necessarily have the resources to pay it forward, but listen to this. You have opportunity. You have keys of opportunity for people. They might need a job and they're not necessarily qualified, but you're going to give them an opportunity and you're going to work with them and train them. Or you might have an opportunity to help them grow their business. You might have an opportunity to sow a seed as a philanthropist into a business that they're starting, a small business. You might buy their book. I don't know. But opportunity is another word that we have to choose to partake in this season. We have to choose to provide opportunity to those that are underserved and to those that may not be deemed as worthy to have it. So let's also take a moment this holiday season and see how can we bring in more people through the lens of opportunity. Not always merit. Sometimes we need grace and opportunity for others. And so with that said, I know I have been so excited about the different changes that have been going on the show. The Real Talk show will now be featured every Monday through Friday on SoulNet WKDH radio station. So if you guys would ever love to watch a replay, we've had some phenomenal guests on the show. So you can definitely get your taste of replays on our show by logging in here 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So on Thursdays, you'll get the show twice. Okay. So you'll get the show and you'll be able to kind of air in and hear things out. And so I'm super excited about that. And I'm so grateful to Ken Harden and his crew for the opportunity to air the show for you guys. And we're super excited. And also, if you are looking to be on the show and you're like, India, I've got a story or I've got an event coming up. I just wrote a book. I want to get my voice heard. I'm running for office, whatever. Then shoot me an email at india.white.123@gmail.com. Again, shoot me an email at india.white.123 at gmail.com, and we will get you situated for the show. And so with that said, I'm going to wrap up the show a little bit early, but don't forget, please, to check out my books. If you need information, you can find some of my books. I'll write some out really quick. There's Power of an Overcomer is one of my books, where it is a book collaboration where many rock stars and there were 20 or 19 authors, I believe, and we wrote about our experiences with being an overcomer, various hardships that we've gone through, and how we were able to overcome it. And we provide nuggets for you that would help you overcome it. And these are different walks of life, different ethnicities, different genders, everything. So don't feel like it's just catered to one audience, okay? You could definitely find yourself in the books somewhere. There's also the flip book for overcomers, which is a calendar book. Covers 365 days in the year. You can find it on Amazon, and you can get the book if you want a signed copy. Just let me know that. You can email me at india.white.123@gmail.com. So out of my 35 books, those are 2 books that I'll share with you. I also have my autobiography, which is called Double for My Trouble. I love it. So, which you can find, you just have to ask me. You can either go, I believe, on my website, which is www.india-white.com, or you can send me a message on social media, and I can give you the link as well. So there are various ways that you can contact me. And so if you also are like, okay, India, I need you to speak to a group of high school students, or I need you to speak at the university, I need you to speak at our business function and motivate my leaders, I'm here for you. So I will now put in the chat my information. So bear with me as I give you my information. Usually I'm highlighting everybody else, so this is kind of interesting to highlight myself. So my Facebook link is Miss India White, like MSINDIAWHITE. My LinkedIn is The India White, okay, because someone took the other one. And then you have my Twitter account. I have 2 Twitters. I have my Twitter as a national education consultant, and I have my personal Twitter, which is Indie Speak and Teach. That's INDISPEAKNTEACH. And then my my other Twitter feed is iWhiteBIL, and that's just my professional one as a national consultant. That is strictly dealing with education and consulting with Big Ideas Learning. That is separate from everything else I do. And then there is my Instagram account, which is INDI238. And then there's my YouTube channel, which is India White 123, which is starting to gain traction. I'm grateful for that. So there's my personal information for you guys. And so please feel free to reach out to me if you like the show and you would like to be on a show, or you would like to talk about some of the content that I found on the show, which I told you it came from Pew Research Center. So I definitely would love to share that information with you guys. And so with that said, thanks so much, guys, for letting me share. Let's all do better this holiday season. Let's see how can we pay it forward. Let's get quiet. Let's meditate. Let's get quiet. Let's reflect. Let's envision some things. Maybe we can come up with a big plan. If you have a company and you want to do some big, event or something, and maybe you could do a toy drive. Maybe you can, pass out meals. You don't have to do it all by yourself. Maybe you can merge with another company and do it that way. So those are some ideas out there for you. But long story short, whatever you do, pay it forward. So thanks so much, guys, for letting me share it. Again, there's my personal information. You've got Facebook, Miss India White. That's MSINDIAWHITE. LinkedIn, The India White, THEINDIAWHITE. Twitter is INDISPEAKN. That's the letter N. And then TEACH. My other Twitter with Big Ideas Learning is IWhite, BIL. My Instagram is Indy238. That's INDI238. And my YouTube is India White 123. So happy holiday season. Enjoy your Christmas shopping. Don't forget those out there that need you, okay? Have a wonderful night, guys. Thanks so much for letting me share. Take care. Bye.